Welcome to Operations with Fractions, adding and subtracting fractions. We're going to be looking at examples 1 through 3. Remember, when you are adding and subtracting, you have to have a common denominator. So in some cases, you're going to have to determine that common denominator on your own. For number 1 here, we don't have to worry about that because we have a common denominator, which in this case is 8. So we get to keep that denominator. So we're going to perform our operation to the numerator only. So 5 minus 1 will be 4. And we keep our denominator of 8. Now we will simplify because it asks us to write our answers in simplest form. So looking at this, 4 over 8. 4 will go into both of those. So we can simplify both our numerator and denominator by dividing by 4. 4 divided by 4 will be 1. 8 divided by 4 will be 2. So our simplified fraction for number 1 will be 1/2. Looking at example 2, we do not have a common denominator. 3 and 6 are not the same number. So we need to have a number that both of those will go into. Now, it cannot be smaller than the biggest number that we have. So the biggest number we have in our denominator is 6. So whatever denominator we have has to be 6 or bigger, cannot be smaller. So if I look at 3 and 6, 6 is a number that 3 goes into, and 6 also goes into 6. So we have a common denominator here will be 6. Okay, so for our first one, to get from 3 to 6, you had to multiply your denominator by 2. So you have to do the same thing to the numerator. So 2 times 2 will give me a numerator of 4. For our second fraction, 1 over 6, it really didn't change anything, but if you want to kind of do the multiplication thing again, so to get from 6 to 6, you multiplied by 1. So 1 times 1 would be 1, so it would stay the same. So then we're going to perform operations, remember, only to the numerators. So 4 plus 1 is 5. And we keep our denominator of 6. So our answer for number 2 is 5 over 6, because we can't simplify that. Nothing goes into both 5 and into 6. All right, let's look at number 3. Again, number 3 does not have a common denominator. So we need to determine a common denominator. 27 would be a good denominator because 3 goes into 27, and 27 will go into 27. So I'm going to use that as my denominator. Okay, so to get from 27 to 27, again, it really stays the same, but it's the same thing as multiplying by 1. So 1 times 14 is 14. So 14 over 27 minus. To get from 3 to 27, we multiplied by 9. So 2 times 9 would be 18. So then we're going to subtract our numerators. 14 minus 18 would be a negative 4. Keep our denominator of 27. So we cannot simplify 4 over 27. Okay, so our final answer there will be negative 4/27.